Southgate once again opted for his 3-4-2-1 shape as opposed to the 4-2-3-1 formation he used at the start of the tournament, and let me tell you, it worked wonders. First and foremost, it allows Foden to operate in a more central area, which he is better in, because when he plays out on the left wing, he looks lacklustre, he looks ineffective, and he never really gets involved with play.
And also the double pivot of Rice and Mainu offers perfect balance for the rest of the team, as both players are all-rounders, meaning they can support the back line as well as offer something in the final third. For instance, we'd often see Rice sit a tad deeper, allowing Mainu to maraud forward and support the likes of Foden, Bellingham and Kane. A prime example being Foden's first half chance that was cleared off the line as it stemmed from Mainu.
Although this system does have many upsides, one downside is Trippier playing left wing back. Yes, he's a good player and he can play at left back, but left wing back's a whole different ball game. When he's bombing on down the flank, he's got to cut in on his right foot and it's just not fluid. It just doesn't quite work, hence why Southgate brought on Shaw at half time. Every man and his dog rattles on about how England have the best squad in the tournament, and rightfully so, but up until now, Southgate hasn't utilised that squad correctly. But up until now is the key phrase, because last night, the introduction of Ollie Watkins and Cole Palmer was a brilliant move from Gareth Southgate. They both offered us a different dimension going forward, especially Ollie Watkins. He runs those channels, he is effective in transition, and it was evident in the goal. Palmer picked up the ball in the sort of pocket area, played Watkins through, and what a finish. Trademark Ollie Watkins, and he's coming back off a fantastic season with Aston Villa, and rightfully so, he got his chance, and yeah, just what a goal, wasn't it?
Absolutely fantastic finish, and it's like Zach said, trademark Watkins. You see it at Villa all the time, and he's done it for England, and it's got England through to a final.
But before we touch upon the final, what did you think was the biggest problem for the Netherlands last night?
I think the main issue the Netherlands found was that they were too compact.
Yeah.
And they were in a low block, obviously, to stop England. And I understand that, because England did cause a lot of threats, especially in the central areas, of course. But I think they were too compact, and it didn't allow them to have an out ball, to be on the break, and they didn't really have anyone there, especially when Weghorst came on. And obviously, Weghorst came on, I think, to help Netherlands with the set pieces, and I think Ronald Koeman thought that was a way of getting a win for the Netherlands, but unfortunately they didn't really find that many set pieces to capitalise on.
Well, they got Van Dijk as well to fry.
Exactly, that's the thing.
They got a big side, they could be a threat from
and England's not the biggest side either, so that plays in their advantage, but I don't think they managed to find many set pieces, and I think that's what caused them to lose.
And England were very good at staying compact as well, Bellingham and Foden sort of sitting on Schouten and Reinders at the base of the box midfield, because the Netherlands, they like to play the ball at the back, whether that be as a back throw or a back foot, and like to feed it into the midfielders. And if Schouten and Reinders get on the ball, they can dictate play, they can play through the lines. But England stayed very compact and sort of man-marked those two to stop them from playing. Yes, that afforded them space out wide, but we all know they have that threat going through the middle. And swiftly moving on, let's just quickly touch upon the final and the big dilemma that Southgate has. Watkins, he made a brilliant impact yesterday, scored the goal, offered a different dynamic coming off the bench. But that leaves the question, should he start the final? Because Spain, they leave a lot of space in the wide areas. Cucurella, Carvajal, they're not the best defensive fullbacks. If they've got a pacey winger, a direct player running at them, it can cause issues. So does that mean that Watkins should play over Kane because he's more tailor-made towards playing Spain? Because try and play through the central areas, you've got Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Laporte, Nacho Fernandez, 4 very strong and able players. So the best bet is attacking down the flanks. But what do you think?
I understand the question, because tactically it would make sense to maybe look at putting Watkins in. But I do believe Harry Kane should start, in my opinion, because I think Kane is, surprisingly, like many people wouldn't think this, but he's actually the top goal scorer of the tournament. He's been banging in goals. He does turn up when it does matter.
It's all-round play, though.
Yeah, it's all-round play. Again, it's an issue because he doesn't have sort of the right players with him to like
He needs on-rushing runners.
Yes, he needs someone like a Gordon in there, and obviously Bellingham and Foden don't exactly provide something that Gordon does, which is running behind, like you were saying. But I do think, on the whole, I do think Harry Kane should start, because I just think he is that good and he is that much of a threat. He's the captain as well, so to bench the captain would be a very controversial decision, and it could cause, if that leaks out or if that ends up happening, it just could cause unnecessary drama.
Don't offer anything.
Yeah, and if Harry Kane's on the bench and England losing the final, then again, Southgate's going to get crucified.
Either way, I think Watkins or Kane would come on.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I have no issue with Watkins coming on. Like he did in the game. I think Watkins probably should have come on earlier. Actually, to be fair, because Watkins came on with, I think, was it 10 minutes ago, something like that.
If that, yeah.
So it wasn't really long to give him. He didn't have much time to do much. So I think he should have longer in the final if Kane is playing bad. And I've got no issue with Watkins coming on, because I do think Watkins might be better off the bench in terms of adding that pace, that energy.
Maybe when Spain are tired.
I think if Carvajal and Cucurella
are
tired,
want to just get it done early doors, just sort of get on the front foot, because although when we go 1-0 down, we do play better, but if we're like 3-1 down at half time, for example, and then you're bringing on Watkins in the second half, it's a bigger mountain to climb.
Yes, I agree with that. But then I think England, when they're playing against Spain, I don't think we're going to look to dominate the ball, and I think we're going to look to sit back. And I think that could definitely tailor Watkins, that's the thing. And so that's why I'd understand why
Kane dropping deep and then playing players like Gordon.
But then that's the thing, you've also got the other dilemma of Kane can then drop in deep and then play on rushing runners. So you've got attributes,
I see your
different
point. I
attributes that
understand.
can suit the way we're going to play from Watkins and Kane. And I think either way, Southgate is going to have a difficult decision to make.
You can definitely make a case for either or, and whoever Southgate
Yeah.
goes with, some people will complain, some people will not. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But it will be an interesting game nevertheless, and Spain are definitely the favourites. And can England get over the line? Maybe. Maybe if we just sit
difficult
deep,
task.
absorb pressure,
It's a
play on
difficult
the
task.
break. But yeah, like you said, it is a very difficult task. This Spanish team are absolutely immense. Yes, not as good as the Spanish teams years gone by, but still one of the best teams we've seen in recent years.